Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Thursday, April 23rd. I am joined tonight, like I always am on the morning show, by Gameboy Gamer at TCF Gameboy and Boomy at Boomy TCF. I am Zach Lilia at Z Lilia TCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook, type in Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. Go on to YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page. We've been doing a bunch of food reviews. All of our morning shows are on there. We also are doing TCF The Last Dance preview show. We previewed not previewed. We recapped. I guess you would reviewed. There we go. Sorry.
Reviewed.
The first two episodes 1 and 2 of The Last Dance. So we're gonna be dropping those every Tuesday morning. So we are pushing the morning show back. Boomy said, "Hey, we're putting out a bunch of content back to back, so we might as well move it back." So we're gonna be doing this on Thursday, dropping the morning show on Thursday mornings now, and the podcast itself will be put out on Sunday morning. Sunday.
It's every other day. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah, there's 2 days between.
It's beautiful.
Friday. There's Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. So that's odd. So that would not work, Boomy. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you get it though. Like Friday and Saturday, they kind of blur together.
I am analyzing this way too much. I'm sorry. But that is our new Typical Chicago Fans podcast schedule for now, because we got 4 more weeks of The Last Dance, so we're going to be getting to that. We'll also have Game Boy on there starting this week, so I'll be dropping Tuesday, The Last Dance review show. I keep saying preview. Also, subscribe to wherever you get your podcast from, Apple, Spotify, Spreaker. If you're on Apple, type it in, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, unsubscribe, or give us a 5-star review or 5-star rating.
Well, you finished on unsubscribe, so make sure you
5-star
resubscribe
rating
when you're done.
Give us a review. What?
You finished with unsubscribe. You got to go back and finish on
subscribe.
I'm sorry. It's just the whole quarantine. I'm going crazy. Like I woke up today. I wake up every day, and the first thing is like, what day is it? It's always like, it's Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
it's the Bill Murray movie.
At least you have 2 choices. Like, am I working today? Am I not working today? At least it narrows it down to like a weekday or a weekend. Now I'm like, it might be Tuesday. It might be Thursday. I have no freaking
Honestly,
clue.
up until you told me the date, I thought the day was Tuesday.
So then.
It's not.
Yep. Follow.
Oh yeah, today's Wednesday.
I had to double check my brain there a little bit. Like, what day is it actually?
And I have a calendar in front of me.
Subscribe
it's
to the
terrible.
podcast, Apple Podcast. Follow the Spotify and then Spreaker. Go on there. Do what you got to do on there. Shout out to our sponsor, Lodi Tap House. They got a place in Utica and Maples Park. They got curbside pickup, so make sure you support your local restaurants. Support Lodi Tap House. Make sure you check them out. They got burgers in the month. They got beers in the month. They got the growlers.
Yeah, growlers and crawlers now, so you can get any of the beers packaged up. I believe there's like 5 to 6 pints in each growler, and they do a great job with the local/Illinois beers, getting those loaded up. So they have those available at their Maple Park facility. So make sure, if you're going to get one of their delicious burgers or the amazing cheese curds, make sure you get a growler of beer. You can have a couple, pop the top back on, and save it for another night. It'll get you through these long days of quarantine if you're like us and have no idea what day it is.
Keep supporting local restaurants. Like I said, we got a little segment on our TCF podcast that we do, so we all shout out a specific restaurant that week. That is sponsored by Lodi Tap House too. So shout out to Lodi Tap House in Maples Park and Utica. Shout out The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com. They're making a move here soon. The Muddy Otter is. They are staying in the Lake of the Ozarks area, but I think it's like Eden or something. I'm not really familiar with that area, but they're just moving a little bit. So they are excited about that. A big move. They are going to have new labs to do all their woodworking and pottery in. So go to themuddyotter.com, Hannah and Mitch Prentice, and follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Also, shout out to Score Trader Boomy. What's going on with politics?
Well, we're down to our two main candidates in the Democratic and Republican parties that will be running for president in November. That is Donald Trump, obviously running for the Republican side, and Joe Biden running on the Democratic side. Now, we do have Vice President Mike Pence is in-house now. It does not necessarily mean that Donald Trump has to run with Mike Pence come November. So right now, the big talk is who will be each person's running mate. It's obviously very up in the air with the Democratic process in their party because they have yet to name who is going to be Joe Biden. Is it going to be Amy Klobuchar? Is it going to be Liz Warren? Is it going to be oh my God, how am I drawing? There's a couple: Bernie Sanders, Michelle Obama. Now, which is kind of crazy to think about, but very cool. So make sure you're paying attention. Get in on the Score Trader app. Head over to the Apple App Store ASAP. Download it. Check out their Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then head over to their YouTube page and get signed up because it's going to be a tight race no matter what. So get your stocks in now.
TCF Morning Show, giving you a little political talk there too to start off the show. Shout out to Score Trader. Shout out to The Muddy Otter. And shout out to Load Eye Tap House. Follow them on Facebook. Check them out at theloadeyetaphouse.com. Check out the menu. It's all there. Thank you to all the sponsors of the TCF Morning Show. But, boys, let's get into the first topic that we've been it's been months now, our coronavirus worry level. And mine was kind of going down, and it's still kind of going down. But what I keep thinking, like, it's they're gonna be another wave of this, isn't there? Unfortunately, like we're gonna go back to normal life.
Yep. If history
go back to normal life, like we want to here, May 1st in Illinois. As of right now, it's still May 1st, and then who knows how long it'll take. But I feel like we're gonna be back in the shelter in place if we aren't extended from the May 1st. And that's making my worry level go up more because you're going to get teased with like normal life maybe for a little bit and then back into shelter in place. So I'm going to set at like an even 65 right now. I'm at 65. I'm not too low on it because I'm still worried, but also not too high because I understand we're kind of getting through it, but also the thoughts of it going back to where we started from with the shelter in place beginning again. That's just an awful thought. Boomy, where are you at?
I've actually gone up quite a bit. I was at like a high 50 number, but I've actually gone up. The state of Illinois has announced that they probably will not peak until mid-May. That has me a little worried. And also some of these states that keep reopening things that Florida, probably don't need to be reopened, in my opinion.
And it seems like some southern states are going back to normal
Florida
life.
also opened the beach
cesspool
on the same day that they hit their highest count of positive test cases. So that doesn't seem very smart to me. Also, 6 positive tests in the town that I live in right now currely.
Well, yeah, there was a
38
local,
others.
I think it was in Rochelle. There was
there's a food processing factory that like 20, I want to say like 20 something people got, which is close to kind of all of us in a triangular way. But like a bunch of people at this food factory had caught it, and all 800 employees are being tested. But 6 people from Mendota was released today that tested positive, and they are still waiting on a bunch of other tests. So I'm going to bump mine up to like a 68. Just because and also like with the sports thing, like I just don't see an end in sight. You know, like I can see, like, yeah, some states are reopening and some things are getting changed, but like the numbers aren't changing very much, and that's, you know, it keeps you like, what are we being as careful and as smart as we should be here?
I heard Bob
just kind of worries me a little bit. So
I heard Bob Costas say on the radio that he does not expect sports in 2020. Like what? Like that hurt to hear. And but they came out today saying. The NFL is going to try. They have said that the NHL is pretty much being told that they should just like cancel the season.
They actually just released a plan today that right now their target date to start is
That's
July
what they say, but
1st.
I don't know what it is, but they're like they're
That's
trying to get teams
forever.
to or sports not to come back. I guess. I don't know. We'll have to see. I would do anything for sports to come back. I mean, that's what I need. I will stay at home if sports can at least start playing, like even with no fans. Like I'll stay at home for longer if that's what's needed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, gamer, where you at?
Yeah, I'm
Gamer,
with
what
you.
about you?
I've also gone up this week, so actually, like, I feel like I started kind of low, like high 50s, and I'm up to about 67 right now. Because you think about, like, you guys mentioned, like all the reopenings, like there are states like demanding and having all these like riots and all these things and protests trying to reopen the states, but
No.
that's not going to help anything. Like I just saw on Twitter that Las Vegas mayor is calling
Yeah, that
for
woman.
the casinos to open up. I'm like,
Yeah, but
I would
that's
love to
like
go lose a couple $100 right now at a casino.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, I'm not going to win, but like that's just it's ridiculous to think, oh, let's go and risk safety to gamble money. It's like no, it doesn't make any sense, and I don't expect sports for a long time, unfortunately, because of states doing this type of stuff. Like it's not going to slow down until everybody actually buys into this whole stay in place. Like, do we have to do in order to get this pandemic to, to calm down a little bit? Like we're just kind of refeeding this like as we go on now because we can't just stay at
like,
home like we're
unfortunately,
supposed
like
to.
I said, I think we have to. The quicker we get back into it, I think the quicker we're going to have to go back into the shelter in place. I think we're going to have to give this more time, and hopefully over that time we will, like I said, get a vaccination for it and just kind of control it more. And I think the quicker we go back, the worse it's going to be in the end. But I mean, I don't really know anything about it either.
Well, I
I'm not
know
that intelligent.
students at NIU right now are being told like, we might start off the year in August, we're meeting face to face, and then we kind of go back to the remote learning from home, and then it could be the same thing in the spring next year where we're stuck at home again. So it's like, because another wave's going to come eventually. It's not going to be able to just
they said even
be contained right
especially
away.
once summer's
Like, we're
over
going to
with
go
and it
through
gets to be cooler part of the year, they say it's gonna like just kind of come back again. Like it's just.
Yeah.
It's just I think what's the point of going back to it if we like going back to normal life? I mean, I wouldn't say not going back to normal life, like maybe opening like golf courses up and just kind of making more things accessible, but just kind of maybe waiting it out a little longer. Maybe we can just kind of fight it. I don't know. You sit here, like it's just every day. That's all you think about, and that's just kind of not all you think about. But throughout the day, you're like, well, when is it? Because there's no set end date. Like we said May 1st, but we still think that could be extended. And like you said, we think that even after that, it's going to happen again. Like it could be a year and a half to 2 years before we're back into normal life.
Oh yeah, and I think it's going to be that way because I think as things get a little bit better, like numbers wise in the United States, the more we're gonna want. Like you already see states trying to push to be reopened. Like we're gonna continue to do that until the whole U.S. is reopened, and we're gonna go right back to this, a couple of months later because it's going to come.
Yeah, we're gonna think, oh, we're good. Because I understand. Yes, we want to get the economy back to normal. More money being generated for everybody else. But we also got to realize that, like you say, if we go back to it and then for some reason we got to go back into it, like that's just going to screw everything back up again. Like we got to think long term more than short term. But Boomy, anything else on this?
You guys, we're all in the 65, 67, 68.
We've
we're
all
in
the
the
thing
same
about it is
boat.
we've all gone up though, so that's the problem. It's
just really discouraging.
It is.
No, it's not. It's just it gets worse.
I don't know about you guys, and it sucks without sports, but like I'm kind of settling into
it's
this.
That's the scary part, though.
You can't do anything about it by fighting and complaining about it. So just do what you can and make the best of it.
I'm kind of over the whole staying at home. Like I'm fine with the staying at home, but like the no sports is starting to get to me. Like I need sports. I need some sports. And like you said, the Last Dance is helping a lot. We got the draft coming up here. Hey, wait. Gamer, did you have something else to say before we move on?
I was gonna say I'm the same
Mhm.
way with all that. Like I just like I want sports to come back so badly, but I'm also like starting to settle into like not having
Oh yeah,
sports where it's like you kind of get used to it. You find a way to kind of spend your time in other
especially with
ways.
like the not going out much. You come home, you kind of have a routine throughout every day. Like every day is kind of the same, so you have a routine for every day.
Yeah.
And we got the virtual NFL draft preview. Well, today the Bears do not have a pick in the first round yet. Did you guys watch the draft with Mahomes and with Mitch Trubisky? A young Mitch Trubisky at the draft.
I saw it once. So
I
was
know.
all I
I
needed.
saw it being replayed the other night. That was sad to see. Um, Boys, do you guys kind of got any sleepers that you think are gonna pop up in the first round here? I'm not that big of an NFL draft guy, and especially with the Bears really having nothing in the first round. I know Joe Burrow's going number one. I'm going to come out and say that right now. Joe Burrow, number one to the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he officially got the word today that he was going to get picked number one, so that's a lock. It's got to be like minus 1,000.
Poor guy.
Now, I know he's going to be number one, but I think there's still a slim chance that somebody may want to trade into that. I know Cincinnati's kind of hell bent on it, but like it's not
Do
100%
do you
given
guys
right
think
now
that
that
this the Zoom conferencing, the call-ins and stuff like that, do you think that will have any effect on like a trade like that going on in the draft throughout the whole thing?
see, and like now, normally I'm going to say yes for rounds like 2 through 7. Yes, I think that's going to complicate things. First round stuff has been talked about and discussed at
Mm-hmm.
length since the draft order came out in January or whatever it was. And I really do think Joe Burrow will be a Cincinnati Bengal next year, and I think Chase Young will be a Redskin, despite the fact that there's a lot of teams that are rumored to want to trade into that 2 spot. The rumor came out today that Atlanta tried to trade in, and Washington was not really willing to give that up. So Chase Young probably going to be that number 2 pick. But you're going to see a run on quarterbacks, I think. You've seen this in the past. I think you're going to see Tua go in the top 5. I imagine him going to Miami. Herbert's going to go somewhere in the top 10. But you said about a sleeper, and I have one for you, and I know you're going to call it a homer pick. But C.J. Henderson, a cornerback from Florida, kind of rose up on the ranks pretty fast. Was kind of a late first-round guy at the beginning and is now looking at being a top 15 pick. But the one I really think will be interesting is to see where the kid from Utah State, Jordan Love, the quarterback, he's been the one that's been, I think at the beginning of the year, he was maybe a 4th-round pick, and now teams are saying with there going to be a run on quarterbacks, you're going to see Jordan Love go probably in the late first, at the latest, early second round. So it'll be interesting to see where he lands. And a huge, and I'll get one more part before I quit rambling here, but a huge draft for wide receivers.
Huge.
This is
One of the best maybe I wouldn't maybe say of all time because you don't know, but this is going to be a very stacked wide receiver draft, which I think is going to benefit the Bears in a way because like they're looking for everything. Like almost they're looking maybe for a few wide receivers, but they're kind of looking for other stuff too. So maybe they'll be able to get maybe some offensive line help, maybe some cornerback safety help. Who knows? But Gamer, what are your thoughts on like the first few rounds? Are you gonna be watching it? Are you excited for it? Or are you gonna be glued to it because it's about the first live sports we've had in a while?
I think I'll watch the first round. It's probably about it. To be honest with you, because the Bears don't have a first-round pick, maybe they could trade it at some point. I don't see it happening. Yeah. But who knows what they would give away because, Ryan Pace just gives away the whole farm for a first-round pick. But
give away 4 front row parking passes and
no kidding, man.
keys to a condominium. And
Come on.
I do think the Bears, with their second-round pick and going forward, I think they'll probably take offensive linemen and quarterbacks. So I'm more interested in that, but
some tight
I will
ends,
watch the
maybe?
first round. At least 3
we
more.
only need Trey Burton though. See ya.
Thank God, get him out of there. I do think Jordan Love would be a good fit for the Patriots. They're looking to fill Tom Brady's spot. I think they'll take a chance on a quarterback, so I think Jordan Love would be a good fit
where
there.
do you guys? Oh,
Other than that, I don't know. I think I saw Derek Brown might be actually like moving up on the ranks a little bit. People are talking about him going maybe like even like top 5 because he's impressing people so much. So that could be interesting, something to watch for. Because I think right now he's projected like later in the top 10, but he can move up too. So I think it's gonna be interesting. I do think Joe Burrow will be a Bengal. That poor
Yeah.
guy is gonna have to suffer through at least a couple years of losing there. But I think Tua might end up. I think he will end up being the best quarterback.
Where do you
in the
guys
draft.
think Justin Herbert will go?
This mock draft that I'm looking at has him going to Jacksonville, and I just don't see
What
that.
pick
I
is
think
that?
they're
What pick is
which one?
Jacksonville guy?
9. I actually wouldn't be surprised if you see Tua go at 5 to the Dolphins. Don't be horribly shocked if the Chargers jump in and take him there. I know they're kind of stuck with
I've
committed
seen
to Tyrod
I've
Taylor.
seen some mock drafts that have Justin Herbert going to the Chargers.
Yeah, I think that's a good landing spot for him. It'd be an opportunity to maybe pick up a couple snaps here and there.
They got
Tyrod
Keenan
Taylor
Allen, so
is
that's
historically
nice to have in your
injured.
team as a rookie quarterback.
Definitely. I think you're going to see a run. I think you're going to see 4 quarterbacks drafted in the first round if I had to make an assumption.
I wonder if there's a bet
but
you
I
can
think
make.
this is yeah, I'm sure there is. I think this is going to be a really good wide receivers. I think this is going to be a really good draft for defensive tackles and defensive backs. I think what I've been listening to and if you look at a lot of mock drafts, a lot of first round picks that are going to be at the safeties and corner position. So I think it'll be interesting. And defensive tackle is really strong from what I've been looking at. Defensive edge rushing is not as strong as it has been in the past. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how, kind of like you brought up, Zach, that technology part
that's gonna
plays
be. I
into
think
it.
the best part of the whole thing is like that may get me to watch the whole time. Is just trying to just watching them try and get some of these guys. I even heard guys have. I took a picture of this. This is goofy. The Lions IT director will spend the NFL draft camping in a Winnebago outside of GM Bob Quinn's house, just in case anything goes wrong. He will be outside, just in case. I've seen people there they're putting new Wi-Fi in, they're hardwiring it. I even saw something with Ryan Pace. Thought something. This is not a good thing for us. But Ryan Pace was having trouble with the Wi-Fi. I thought something was wrong. His wife vacuumed the cord out of the wall, so that is the problem. Was the problem there? I'm just excited to see. I will be watching to see the first time they try and put a pick in and the guy's face just freezes, or somebody just freezes and you can't hear it or something. It's going to be.
Yeah, it's like the New York Jets will take.
Yeah, it's going to be electric. I think I will watch all. Was it 4 days? No, 3 days. All 3 days, just for the simple fact of I just want to watch this all go down. It's gonna be something. Hopefully, we never see again. Hopefully, hopefully this isn't the new norm.
Yeah, yeah. I love the NFL draft as it is, but now that there's nothing else to watch, I'm gonna be glued. I'll probably watch all 255 picks or whatever it is.
Draft of all time. We will be doing a preview. I keep doing a review of the draft on our TCF podcast that will be out Sunday morning. We'll recap all the stuff that goes on, some trade where the Bears pick. Boomy will try and tell us where the Packers pick. Maybe we'll let them talk. Maybe we won't. And then we got Pigoy.
Sorry, you probably don't want to know who's
the Vikings.
This year,
Vikings got. So. Did they get some picks for this draft from the?
Oh yeah, from Vikings have quite a few picks.
Diggs trade, right? Yeah. Where did Diggs go?
Yep.
Buffalo. That was actually a good trade, I would have to say, for the Vikings too, because he didn't want to be there anymore, and they got some good picks for that. Yeah. But let's move on. Gronk traded to Bucks. Boys, Tom Brady, Gronk back together in Tampa Bay. I know Boomy's thoughts. Boomy, what do you think of the move?
All right, so first of all, this is a great move by Bill Belichick. This is such a Belichick move to trade a guy who was never going to play another snap for you for a fourth-round pick, where the draft, where Bill Belichick has made an absolute killing.
But
This
they
also
also got a
just
seventh
blatantly
round too.
reminds me of Garnett.
No.
Yeah, so you got a seventh this year and a fourth next year.
The Bucks got a seventh round. The Bucks got
Gronkowski
and a
Yep, and it also, so this to me just, and I know Mike Evans is there, I know Godwin's there, I know that Tampa Bay's offense will be pretty good. This just screams to me KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen traded to the Brooklyn Nets after the run with the Celtics. Bucks are not going to the playoffs. I will take their under. They don't have Bill Belichick there. Their defense is not that good. They're very average. No, how is it stupid?
No, they're 8-18.
No, I think they're good.
That's my
I'm not going to say they're not going to be. They may be 9-7 or whatever. They may have, but I think they're good. I think it's gonna be exciting. I think they're going to be good. I don't know. I think Boomy. You guys are just like
win a lot of games.
Poo-pooing it. You're just I don't want to be excited about this. I don't want to be excited about something fun.
I love Tom Brady. I love Gronk. That's gonna be so much fun with them in Florida. But they're just not gonna be a top team in the NFL. I don't think Tom Brady and Gronk and Rob Gronkowski makes them a Super Bowl contender right away. Yeah. That team had too many flaws to begin with. If they were really that good, you would have seen that.
How are you supposed to do that when Jameis is throwing it all over the place?
I think. Hey, let the league yards though.
The 30-30 club.
Just gonna say it.
I also just think Tom Brady's a system quarterback, and without Bill Belichick, he's going to be very average.
So that's my one doubt. I do think he'll be good still. I'm not going to say like he's just going to be average now. All of a sudden he's not New England, but I think he'll be good. But I just, like you mentioned, Paul Pierce and KG in Brooklyn. I thought like the same thing. I thought about. I saw a picture of Dwight Howard and Steve Nash, and I'm like, you know what? That's the exact thing that's going to happen here. Like they're just two guys who.
Wait, Dwight Howard's still going strong
like,
though.
Be good, but they're not. It's not going to be the same thing.
He's playing a completely different now. But I think it's going to be. I think they'll be good.
Okay, but if you want to compare that though, like. Yeah, I think they'll be 8-8, which should be an improvement for them, and they'll be more fun to watch. But
I think they will be in the playoffs.
They're not going to be a Super Bowl. Maybe they get in as a wild card team. Maybe because the new system is now there's more teams getting in, right?
No, I don't.
I don't think that comes into play this year.
It'll be in play next year. That's when they'll add the.
Okay.
Extra.
So
I don't. If their offense is great, their defense.
I understand
is
that, but they have plenty of time to get that. Like they're going to be focusing on that in the draft. They have. I think they got like the 15th pick, if I'm not mistaken. So they'll probably take some defense there. I don't know. We can agree to disagree on it, but I just think that they will be a playoff team. So maybe when we get if boys, we're talking about sports in a way like that. It's going to happen anytime soon too. Like Tom Brady may want to retire by the time NFL is back in 2 years. If you know what I mean. This is it's also that's what's sad too. Like. I was gonna say we can make a bet about it, but like we're gonna have to wait until we even know like if there's gonna be a season to make a bet. Like that's sad, but
right.
Yes.
If anything, it gave us something to talk about for a few days.
And I know everybody talks about O.J. Howard still being there, but a lot of things that I read have stated that with Gronk coming in, that
I'm guessing
Howard's going to get bound.
If I could put myself in the spot of Tampa Bay Bucks front office, I think they will probably trade for defense if they can, or some picks. Who knows how it could be tomorrow night or tonight.
You're going to see maybe him get packaged for some draft picks this weekend.
Well, I think you only have Tom Brady for 2 years, probably max, before he retires. You gotta load up on whatever you can for these next 2 years. So I expect them to go out and spend big money and try to bring in a lot of guys. What was that thing too?
I kind of was confused by the whole thing. Tom Brady was told he couldn't train. Like, was it at like a gym or something? I saw something like he was in Tampa Bay and like he almost like the cops came over and told him like he couldn't train there or something was going on. You guys did not see that?
No.
I may be
No, I
talking
did
like
not see
the
that,
two,
but
like,
probably
people
just because
that-
it's supposed to
that's
be at
crazy.
home.
I'm going to look this up real quick.
You're telling me Tom Brady
I
can't
know, but
afford
that's
to just
what
do
that's.
that at his
It was a big
house and
deal.
work
Yeah.
out
Like
somewhere?
that,
Like,
that's
you're
why
telling
I
me-
can't believe you didn't see it.
Yeah, I hear it.
He is living in Derek
I hear
Jeter's mansion. So that is that.
Oh, that's right.
Why would he have a place in Tampa Bay?
That reminds me. So,
I guess whatever.
did you guys see
Well,
Derek
the
Jeter?
Yankees
Oh well,
spring training facility is near there, I believe.
Makes sense. Derek Jeter actually gave up his like $5 million a year salary or whatever for this year,
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
he's given that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So props.
He doesn't
props to
need the
Derek
money, so why as well give it to, you know what I mean? Like
Jeter. Yeah.
doing something good. I think. Did I also see
Yeah.
that A-Rod might be buying the Mets? That'd be cool.
That's a great move.
Yeah,
Him and
that'd be
Jay.
Reds
cool.
need a
That'd be
new-
cool.
new
What a
owner.
guy! Made took a 180. Wow, on his like after baseball. I mean, he was very disliked while he was playing baseball for a point.
Public
Yeah.
enemy number one for a
Well, if you
while.
really
I
think
hate how
about it,
much
though,
I
like,
like him.
if you look
now. That's
back
the
at it,
problem. I
like,
actually like him.
Yeah.
he jumped on the sword for steroids. Like there were a lot of guys before him that got out of the game before it got big and like everything, and he kind of got caught up in it at the end of it, at the end of the whole steroid era thing. Because some people, like, I hate to say that, but some people always forget, like David Ortiz. Like, didn't he test positive or something like that? Like kind of moved
think
on
he
with it.
did.
Yeah,
Sammy can't
something
even come back to
along
Wrigley. Sammy can't even come back to Wrigley. I was talking about this today, the other day, Gamer. Did you see that thing Fergie Jenkins put up? It was like a thing, and Sammy Sosa was
Yep.
in there with like all the legends. Like he is an all-time legend for the Cubs.
That's what I hate. It's like, why is he not even allowed to come back? Why can't
Yeah,
the Cubs
like-
Twitter even post about him? Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Like, just bring him back. Like, he was the face of the franchise for a long time. He's still the
Face
guy
of
you think
baseball.
of.
Yeah,
Like bring him back.
I understand
Get-
you
get all
want to
this
say
stuff
yeah
over
with the
with.
whole steroids thing, but like, yeah, you got to look past that at that point because it was just what was happening in baseball. Not saying it was the right thing, but that's what was happening. What a lead right into it. Red Sox cheating penalty today. They got they're losing a draft pick. They are losing the second round 2020 draft pick. Ban of replay operator JT Watkins through 2020 playoffs and from doing same job in 2021, and then the ban of Alex Cora through 2020 playoffs, but only for conduct with Astros, which is kind of weird. What do you guys think of that? Do you guys think that was a little too easy because that was for their sign stealing, cheating scandal or whatever went on with that? I think it was like with the iPads.
Yes, this is too easy. Rob Manfred is slowly becoming the Roger Goodell of the owners
Oh yeah,
league.
oh yeah.
He's a putz. This
That was a
the
little
second
rude.
time now we've had a chance to nail someone to the wall, and he taps him on the wrist and does nothing about it. Like
Like,
it's just. I don't know why anybody expected any different after seeing what happened to the Astros, but like it's a joke,
and
dude.
what I think is crazy is
It's everything
how are
that
all
he's
the players
done.
getting
He's
away
a
with it? Like
clown.
I understand they did the immunity because
Yeah.
Because without
I
granting them
understand that,
amnesty,
but like I
you don't
still
get
think
any
they could have
interviews.
gotten enough information to get the Astros at least and still get some players because like you said you're just as much accountable for everything being a player knowing what was going on. So and I'm not saying the Red Sox were not even close to as bad as what the Astros were doing. They were just kind of doing the iPads. They were kind of doing what a lot of teams they say were some teams were doing. But like I said, you always knew that they weren't going to even get close to the penalties that the Astros got. But for them to say that Alex Cora was suspended or getting suspended because of the whole Astros thing, like just say he also had like he didn't bring over those waves from the Astros. Like, give me a break.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, there's no way he didn't know what was going on. But even that doesn't bother me. What bothered me was in the report, they mentioned that the Red Sox players didn't know, like, they weren't communicating it, like, to each other the same way the Astros were. And, like, my problem there wasn't even so much with the Red Sox. It came back to the Astros. And it was like, okay, if you know the players were the ones running this, why were no players suspended? Why were no players punished for this? Like, why is it only, like, the GMs and the team, like, losing draft picks? That makes no sense to me. Like, punish the players who were the ones actually like doing this and making it happen on the field. Like that, to me, that's ridiculous that they're just gonna, like you guys have said, give him a slap on the wrist and not punish any players. With the Red Sox, whatever. But he said in the report that the Astros players were at fault, and yet still nobody's in trouble.
Well, like you said about the draft pick, they literally take there's 35 rounds of the MLB draft.
One draft,
and they take away 1 second round.
Like take away the first 5 picks or something. Like
that's
do something more like that. Like
shoot, I said with the Astros, take away their whole damn draft. Like it's that obvious.
You're gonna
you don't
suspend
draft,
the
pal.
replay guy. Like, oh man, you really got them there. You can't find a guy that
the guy on the totem pole that makes
you can't
the least
find a guy
amount
that
of
can do
money.
the exact same thing like what he was doing when they were cheating. Like, give me a break. Like that's just crazy. Like you got to find him or something. Like hit him where it hurts instead of like Alex Cora was fired. Like he was gone already. Like that was gonna happen. Like I want to know if it wasn't such a big deal. Why was Carlos Beltran fired from the Mets so quickly? Like there's something like that they didn't want going on there. And he was a player. Like like I said, you had to do it. I guess with the players probably wouldn't give up the information if they knew they were going to be in trouble. But it just kind of sucked how it all ended up. Anything else on the Red Sox? Baseball, I miss it, but there's just nothing really going on with it. It's sad. We should be at baseball Cubs game pretty much every day right now, and we got nothing. We just got nothing. It's just sad. Been watching replay of like the World Series, old games, and I can only watch so many non-live games until I just want to cry.
Yeah. I got depressed yesterday. I started watching Game 4 from the 2015 NLDS against the Cardinals. Watched the whole game.
Yeah. Milwaukee.
Oh my God, that was awesome. And I watched the whole thing. And I was just so like, I just needed baseball that day. I just needed to watch a Cubs game, and that was.
Well, speaking of that, boys, what are you watching?
I got one. Murder Mountain.
Scary.
It's a 6-part documentary on Netflix. It was originally, I believe, on television, if I'm not mistaken. But it's about the illegal growing of legal marijuana in a town in Northern California that's way, way, way up in the hills, and basically how these kind of yokels for a long time were running these illegal marijuana farms, but kind of got away with it because they were up in the mountains, and then other people come in. And it's a documentary, and like I think a total of like probably 4 or 5 people get killed in it, and there's, tons of missing people and all this stuff, but it's a quick watch. I started it like yesterday and finished it today. So Murder Mountain on Netflix, I will definitely recommend if you're into like docuseries.
Gamer, what have you been watching?
So 2 things. So I think Boomy, you mentioned this last week. Waco on Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah, I watched that this week. Was awesome. Taylor Kitsch is awesome, and that Michael Shannon is unbelievable.
I got that on my list. Is it giving me a rating out of 10?
Ooh. So it's kind of like, all right, so it's a mini series. Obviously, it's like there's 6 episodes because it's a historical event. I put it up in the 8. It's probably like an 8.3.
Okay.
Like it is pretty good. There's some storylines that were kind of hard to follow, I thought, but it was like it just blew my mind as I was watching it. Like some of the stuff, like I did some research for like the first episode because I'm nosy. I want to know what's going to go on. But they did such a nice job with it, and there's so many twists too that like they have such good information because they have it on both sides. They have somebody who was on the inside of it.
Was that the Branch Davidians?
Yes. So they have somebody who was part of
David
that.
Koresh.
Yeah, and then they have somebody who was from the FBI, and those two kind of like they each tell a story in there, and then you get a good view of both sides and what it was like. So that's pretty good. And then I had to watch. I say I had to, but I watched the Central Park 5 documentary.
Yes, that is
okay.
When They See Us or whatever.
Yeah, so
that is amazing.
It is really good. So I would also recommend that. Ken Burns was the one who put that all together. Really good.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it is. It's really sad, but it's really interesting. It just really makes you think about today's legal system and the injustices that we have today still and back then, because this took place in I want to say, was it the early 90s, late 80s, one of the two,
Yeah,
but yeah.
like 89, I think.
Yeah, so it makes you wonder, like, this has been going on for a long
It's
time. We still
just-
see that today.
Yeah, that was amazing. I remember I'd seen that come up on my thing, and I remembered I had watched that back maybe in the winter. But yeah, that was
don't know if
very,
you guys-
very well done. And it's
I don't
another
know if you guys have been watching this. I've ever watched this. Comedians in cars having coffee. I think that's what it's called. With Jerry
Yes.
Seinfeld.
I've seen a couple
It's really cool.
episodes.
My dad was
Yeah.
watching it, so I kind of got into it. It has like Kevin Hart, Jimmy Fallon, Seth Rogen, like a bunch of comedians, and it's just they usually he tries to like critique the car around the specific the guest, and then he'll go get a car or whatever, and he'll pick them up in the car, and they'll go have coffee, and it's just really interesting to. First of all, I'm just a big Jerry Seinfeld fan in general. I'm a big Seinfeld guy. The show, and it's just kind of cool to get the stories from him, but also the stories from the other people, and they just feel so comfortable being around Jerry Seinfeld and being able to talk. And it's just, I think it's one of the I hate to say this, but I'm not a fan of really any of the late. I mean, I like Jimmy Fallon and whatever, but like I'm not really a fan of any of the late night. Like I'm actually more of a fan of the David Spade show that he does, Lights Out. But I think like the interviewer process or whatever is just awesome on there. Like it's just the way he like the questions he asks, and the way he can like he already has stories with a lot of the people. Like it's very interesting. So
Yeah, he can relate to those guys because he's a comedian
yeah,
too,
like I
which
said,
makes
it's
it that
also
much
just cool
better.
'cause you get stories from Jerry Seinfeld every episode, so that's always they're
and
pretty
they're
quick.
fairly like
They
fast.
can get
and
through
they
a season
vary-
fairly quickly. I think there's like 3 or 4 seasons, or maybe more, but it's a good show. Boomy, do you have a wacky
Very
web
good.
story for us?
I sure do, and I gotta ask: have both of you guys done a Zoom call or a video conferencing
Yes, I
call
have.
while all
Yes,
this
I
is
have.
going on?
Zoom
Yes.
party.
Okay, they kind of stink, right?
It's
They're kinda
weird,
boring.
but I don't mind it just because you can talk with your friends and everything, and you can mess with the backgrounds.
Right, you did yours with your friends.
Oh no, I've
you
never.
haven't done one
well,
with
that-
like coworkers.
Boomy, you know where I
Sucks
work, so
for
that
work.
would not work. No.
The worst.
Yeah, I
on
would
our
love to
phones,
see
but-
a Zoom call with the tile. But anyway, Zach, if you do have to get into a boring tile Zoom call, there's a way you can spice it up a little bit because there is a company, actually a farm in Indian Trail, North Carolina, that is renting out their 8-year-old miniature donkey to crash Zoom calls.
Do
Obviously,
what?
they will get the donkey on the call. It's $50 for a 10-minute donkey to crash, or to have the donkey crash your call. I'm assuming it goes to help the farm out, but just to throw a little monkey wrench in, the Peace and Peas farm will rent Mambo, an 8-year-old miniature donkey, and his friends to crash any company conference call you want. The camera crowding donkey is like a pesky little brother. He doesn't let anybody relax too long. Just
Well-
kind of shakes it up, right? Just kind of little miniature donkey in there, and
We
you have some fun
were
with it and
talking
get a laugh out of
about
it.
shows
So.
we were watching. I was watching the first season of Robin Big, and they got the miniature horse. Like they said, it was just awful to have in the
Yeah.
like. That's not no. Like no, they're not like there's like no. Like you know, the horse is in the house or the donkey's in the house.
No,
No,
they
no, I
video like
understand,
they
but,
just
like,
you include
Where it's
them.
at, like is it on the farm or like it's in the house?
I mean, I'm assuming he's probably in his like.
Well, they just made this
farm or his
person. They made
cage or
this.
in,
They made this
you know,
donkey seem like a family member. So I didn't know. That'd be crazy if like it was.
That sounds
So-
awesome.
I love it. If I was in a Zoom
Oh
call
my
for work
gosh.
and someone showed up
'Cause
with a
you-
miniature donkey,
You're just
and
like,
let
oh, look at
that
the
in, I'd
jackass.
love
You're
it.
like, oh, look at the jack. Who's the jackass?
Oh, stop.
That's
Zach, you want a
What?
little
low
ass.
hanging
What?
fruit.
You know you want a little ass.
I'll take a little ass. Now, Gamer, you got me all flustered now. We guys
His
got,
cheeks are all red
anything
now, guys. It's all right.
post-show.
Man, just this is a great time for yard work. I'm loving this now. The weather's lighting up. I got the yard mowed. I got my trees trimmed. I went to Menards yesterday and bought like $200 worth of crap.
Being
So
so
this is
windy,
perfect time.
that'd be all right. Damn wind.
yeah,
Pisses me off.
Yeah.
out here
What?
thriving in the yard.
Yeah, it's nice to have the weather
Oh,
get a
yeah.
little nicer though. Get outside, use the
I
grill
say
a little bit
with this whole
more, walk around
shelter in
some.
place, we deserve some nice weather.
Definitely.
Oh,
But it is frustrating at the same time because, like, as of right now, no golfing,
Yeah,
and this is perfect golf weather. So
it's all I need right now. You can take everything else away, or just keep it taken away from me. Just give me golf right now, and I will be not so cranky.
Yeah.
I will not be so cranky if you give me golf.
So there, so there's probably going to be, what do we figure? Probably like 6-7 hours, maybe 10 hours of draft coverage this
Probably
weekend. How much are you guys going to watch?
as I'm
10
around
hours.
the TV, like
Because I'll probably
if I'm
watch.
around the TV, I will watch it.
Okay. I was going to say, I got about a solid 8.5
yeah.
hours in me this weekend.
I'll probably say like 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. Not gonna watch the whole thing, but won't go crazy with it, but I'll definitely have it on a little bit.
I don't know. For some reason, I love drafts. Like the NBA draft,
like,
I watch every pick.
It's just going to be a nice 4 days of sports, and then you're going to go back to another week without it. Like, because we're going to have the draft for 3 days, then we have the Last Dance episode 3 and 4 on Sunday, and then we won't have any more really exciting things until the next Sunday with the Last Dance. So I'm going to take these next 4 days and soak them up. And soak up the sports and just live in the moment. Live in the moment. That's sad. We're living in the moment for like a virtual NFL draft. But like I said, go check out episode 3 and 4 of The Last Dance, and check out the Last Dance podcast TCF review that we have been doing that will be dropping every Tuesday morning. But thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddy.otter.com. Shout out Hannah and Mitch Prentice. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Shout out Lodi Tap House in Utica and Maples Park. Follow them on Facebook and go to their website. I think it's LodiTapHouse.com. Check out their menu. They got the curbside pickup. Make sure you support all your local restaurants. And then also Score Trader. Download the Score Trader app on the Apple Store. And then follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I am Zach Lilia. You can follow me at ZLilia TCF. I got Gameboy Gamer at TCF Gameboy. We got Boomy at Boomy TCF. Follow the main page at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook. Just type in Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page, Typical Chicago Fans YouTube page. We put all the morning shows, the Last Dance podcast we put up on there, the Typical Chicago Fan podcast, the food reviews that we do. So go make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube page so you can stay up to date on all the videos. And then wherever you get your podcast from, if you're on Apple, subscribe, rate, review. And then if you're on Spotify, follow on there. And then Spreaker, do what you got to do. Anything else, boys?
Just stay safe, stay healthy out there.
Yeah, like
We're thinking of y'all.
we'll know more next week. We'll be closer to the end date of this, so maybe we'll see if it's extended or not, or if we're gonna be getting back to normal life here. I guess soon. We'll see. Like I said, you're both teachers though, so your school years are already done.
Well, in class.
Yeah, whatever. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Thursday, April 23rd. We love you all.
Peace.